One crisp morning, President George Washington woke to find his famous wig missing from its stand. Panic set in. After all, a wigless president was simply unthinkable. He tiptoed out of his bedroom, hoping none of the White House staff would see him in this less-than-presidential state. The search began. Under the bed, behind the curtains, even in the kitchen pantry, no wig. George was flabbergasted until he noticed a trail of white hair leading out the front door and into the garden. Curiosity piqued, he followed the trail outside. To his astonishment, he discovered a mischievous squirrel, busily incorporating his prized wig into its nest atop a nearby cherry tree. "You there, squirrel," George called out, only for the squirrel to chatter back in perfect English. "This is the finest nesting material I've ever found," the squirrel declared proudly. George couldn't help but chuckle at the oddity of a talking squirrel. Just as he prepared to negotiate for his wig's return, a rabbit hopped over. "Watch your step, sir. There's a secret tunnel entrance right in front of you." Before George could react, a section of the lawn gave way, and he found himself sliding down a smooth, earthen tunnel. He landed in a dimly lit underground chamber, face to face with none other than Benjamin Franklin. "Ben? What in the world?" George stammered. "Time travel mishap," Ben admitted sheepishly. "Now, about that wig, I've got a device to help." With a flick of a switch on Franklin's odd contraption, they were back in the garden, eye level with the squirrel's treetop nest. The squirrel, taken aback by this sudden reappearance, darted away in surprise. George climbed the tree and, not without a few slips and embarrassing moments, managed to retrieve his wig. Back on solid ground, Franklin remarked, "That was quite the adventure. Perhaps things not going as planned makes life a bit more interesting, don't you think?" George nodded, his wig askew but a broad grin on his face. He thanked the animals and Franklin for their unexpected help and returned to the White House, just in time for an official portrait. Though the adventure would remain a secret, George couldn't help but chuckle with each brush stroke, realizing that even the most serious of days could use a bit of humor.